cooking up, kid. K cooking up, kid.
All right, man. All right, yesterday we got Undisputed. Y'all already know I like to rock with these, man. Spider tops the clips. Y'all see how they coming already. Donovan Mitchell had 45. I'm gonna be real with y'all, bro. It's no like I'm not a fan to be worried. It's not, because even though they didn't have Mike Conley, they missed 21 shots in the first quarter, this, that, and the third, but we still managed to stay in the game the entire time, and we lost. We lost by 3 points. Y'all like to think of the glass as half empty. I like to think of it as half full. You know what I'm saying? Because we lost by 3 to a well-rested team without their best point guard. Whoa, whatever. That's fine. That's fine. And Donovan Mitchell had one of the best games he's probably had in the playoffs so far this year. So, I mean, it is what it is, bro. Good game. Cool. One game. It's just one, bro. It's just one. And if we start resting, then we're okay. And let's stop with this thing of, oh, I guess Paul George and Kawhi aren't the best two-way players, bro. They weren't guarding Donovan Mitchell that much. Let's be real. I don't remember seeing Paul George or Kawhi guarding him that much at all. And maybe because they're tired, and maybe because they need to pick up on the scoring low, but they weren't guarding that much. Let's get into this. Y'all confuse me sometimes with y'all politics in basketball. Because since they missed 21 shots, they were rusty, right? But we don't get the excuse to say that we are gassed because we went to a Game 7, which is neither. I mean, good job, Jazz. Bad job from the Clippers. But I mean, how is that an excuse? Them being that's dumb.
NBA
whatever. To me, that's dumb.
Chris,
I think we have a more. I think that game right there, they're supposed to smack us. They're supposed to smack us. Without their best point guard or not, everybody else is well-rested. They're supposed to do really well. We were up 10 for a majority of the game. I mean...
Or discouraged by their Game 1 loss.
What team be like, come on, bro. Like,
well, they shouldn't be discouraged because we knew that it would be tough for them to go into Utah and beat a Jazz team.
Now, look, Chris, I done called you a clown from your stupidity that you be speaking sometimes, my man. Now, look, don't be flip-floppy. If you going to pick us now.
What, 5 or 6 days of rest, and you were coming off this tough emotional series, 7-game series that ended just 2 days ago. So you knew it would be a tough chore to go in there and
we
win
lost by
game
3.
1. And Clippers fans can tell themselves, as well as the players, hey, we almost won that game with our 2 best players struggling. Kawhi Leonard had 23 points, 9 of 19. For him, that's not a great night. And Paul George shot 4 for 17, even though...
And here y'all go with this pandemic P junk. Here's my thing. It's one game. I didn't know you had to be perfect every game. My bad. My bad. That's just me. Donovan Mitchell scoring 45 every game. Y'all think so?
Points and played well in the fourth quarter with 13 points. But George struggled. So all of that happened, and you still had a chance to win the game at the end.
Yes.
That said, I did see some things that would give me concern if I'm a Clippers fan. Number one, you saw that Mike Conley didn't play either. So you can talk about Paul George and Kawhi struggled, but Mike Conley wasn't playing. Conley's a, all-star level. He's never made an all-star team.
Well, then don't say it then. Don't say it then. Don't say it then. If he ain't make it, don't say it then. Don't say it.
He's right below the all-star level type player. He's very good on both ends of the floor.
Yeah.
And he's another guy that can penetrate off the dribble and create for himself and his teammates. So you had one guy to worry about that could do that last night. Jordan Clarkson, yes, off the bench, he's a nice scorer. But for the most part, you had one guy to worry about as far as creating his own stuff.
Donovan Mitchell.
And that was Donovan Mitchell.
Okay, yeah.
And we saw he went for 45. Go back to last series. You had one guy to worry about that was creating all the offense, Luka Doncic, and he went off on the Clippers.
And where's he at? Where's he at? Where's he at, Chris? Where is he at, Chris? He's at the crib. All right.
Now, last night, same thing.
Stop talking about them, bro.
When Conley gets back, whether it's game 2 or game 3, he's going to be another guy you've got to worry about. So that could open things up not that he needs it, but open things up even more for Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, but y'all speaking on it as if they were as if he was just killing Kawhi or killing Paul George. They weren't guarding him that much, bro. They genuinely weren't. I don't think they were trying to guard him that much, bro. I don't remember really seeing. They had Morris on him. They had Batum on him. They had Reggie Jackson on him a lot. That's how that worked, bro.
And you've got the shooters to surround him. So that's the cause for concern. And then Paul George, 4 for 17. I mentioned it earlier. He is not hitting shots at all. It was 5 for 15 in Game 7 against Dallas.
that was
6 for
bad.
15 in Game.
But let's not forget he did contribute with 10 assists, so he was doing something. Last night he didn't really do anything. That's real.
Over the last 3 games, he shot 32% from the floor.
That's pretty bad.
I know he's had his moments.
Bad. That's bad.
He's hit a couple of big shots. I mentioned the 13 points last night in the fourth quarter. But I'm not sure you can beat Utah with Paul George shooting like this consistently.
Okay, I can't. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna disagree with that. He has to step up. He's a 2 guy. He got to. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, if we'd have won that game, would that be the reason? Would y'all be saying that, or would y'all be saying that we won because we won even though we went at 100%? You know, that's the thing though. Paul George has to step up though. Yes,
need him to step up and be a legitimate wingman for Kawhi. I'm not worried about Kawhi. Kawhi will bounce back starting in Game 2.
You already know that.
Paul George has got to give them a little more consistency on the offensive end for them to prevail. I got them in 7, so I expect a long, tough series. But
another long, tough series, but I think the Suns will come out of a tough one as well.
I don't know why the Clippers would be encouraged, considering that had they been blown out, they could have used the excuse we had tired legs, we played Game 7. But, Chris, they were up 13. Utah missed 20 straight shots.
But here's the thing about that. Yes, that happened. Then they missed 20 shots. But they have the legs to fight back. Okay? They're not going to die out like we did. We ended up dying out for a little bit, yes. And we fought back at the end. They have the legs to keep going. So this is what I'm saying. Y'all talking about they rusty? No, they're not. They just had a bad shooting game. Stop. That's weird. Stop. They had a bad shooting game, and we had a gassed game. We were gassed for real. And they had the legs to fight back, and they're at home.
You could have buried
that
them.
arena was jumping
that was
last night.
You could have buried them. Spider Mitchell had 13 points at the half. Nobody on Utah was playing particularly well in the first half. That was your opportunity to send the death knell blow, and they didn't. Mitchell gets it going. The difference between Dallas and Utah, obviously the record. You say, if you want to say Donovan and Luka are push, but the difference is the surrounding players. Those guys will make shots early and they will make tough shots late. Bogdan didn't. Joe Ingles was 3 of 14. So what happens when he heats up? Let me get my Sharpe too much. Joe Ingles was 3 of 12. 1 of 8. Bogdanovich was 6 of 14. You know they gonna shoot better than that next go around. Now, Chris, you keep telling me they're elite wing defenders. Now, Luka had 3 40-point games and a 39-point game. Luka also had a 42-point game in March. Zach LaVine dropped 45 on him. We see Donovan Mitchell have 46. What's going on with that defense?
We're not going to talk about the game where Luka had, 18 and 21? We're not going to talk about them games, right? We're not going to talk about those. But, I mean, it does outweigh. It does seem crazy, but they're not fully guarding Luka and them the whole time. But it's not like that's just saying as if Gary Payton didn't get dropped off a few times. Bro, they're good players, bro. They're top
Paul George, you
players.
Mentioned he was 7 of 15 in Game 5, 6 of 15, 5 of 15, 3 of 4 of 14. Come on. And you keep saying, oh, he gonna turn it around. Are we sure about that? Are we sure?
So when he has a 30-point game or a 30-point game, are we gonna still do this? We always doing a what if. We always doing what ifs.
Chris, you ain't mentioned it, but you saw 2 guys pass up a shot and say, Marcus Morris, you take it. We don't want it. Because I know if somebody else had done that, he'd be up here pounding the table. If you the GOAT, you got to take that shot.
That's facts. That's facts. He would have done that to LeBron. He would have.
I can't tell.
Oh.
I can't tell.
I don't know what.
Chris,
that sequence was dumb right here. That pissed me off.
When have he ever allowed LeBron to use the excuse of being tired? Oh, he played 7 games.
Not a once.
Not one time. You remember
once.
LeBron played 7 games against Boston his last year in Cleveland?
Yeah.
And then dropped 51 in the opening game against Golden State.
Yeah.
And you talked about, well, LeBron quit. He's separated from his team. But I'm going to let you have your little moment. But you're going home in 5, and we got 5 on it. 5 for 5.
Kawhi Leonard
Bro,
invented
Shannon, bro, stop.
load
Dude, we're not
management
gonna hold
with
it
some
5,
help
bro.
from Greg Popovich.
We might win in 6 or 7.
I first guessed this for the record, and this man also picked Utah to win this game last night.
I did, of course.
And I think you thought Utah would win handily, and they should have won handily.
They should have, yes.
Because Kawhi Leonard was literally running on empty last night, or trotting
buns.
on empty, or crawling on empty, because I think that whole team was psychologically gassed from what I believe was the greatest comeback in NBA playoff history against the Dallas Mavericks. It took every ounce.
Hey, yo, what is he talking about? Hey! What is he talking about? LeBron came back from 3-1 against the freaking Warriors. What is this guy talking about? He's wilding right now. He's wilding.
Of heart and soul for them to climb out of the hole.
Hey, you're gassing it, Skip. Stop.
At Staples, where they lost games, 1, 2, and 5.
Yep.
It's impossible what they did against Luka and company, and it took Kawhi being Jordan-esque in games 6 and 7, and he was shot. He was spent.
He losing
more
me, but he not losing me.
than physically. And I think
I don't get the
last
comparison
night
of the
thinking,
greatest
well,
comeback.
we
That
deserved
wasn't
one game, quote unquote, off.
Yeah,
and
not
they were
first round.
shocked to find in the first half that Utah missed 20 straight shots.
20 straight.
20 straight shots.
That's on them. How are y'all well rested and y'all coming out buns? How are y'all well rested and y'all coming out like y'all getting up shots every day? We just got done playing. So like, how does that give us an advantage? Stop. That's bro.
So I told Shannon earlier today.
The logic
maybe
of that
a
is
more
dumb
veteran team.
to me.
Maybe a team that had won a couple of championships together would have gone in at halftime and said, hey, wake up. They don't want this. They're trying to give it to us. We have a chance to steal game 1. Let's take game 2 off mentally and physically, but let's not take the second half off. And instead, they came out and said, okay, we gave you one good half. That's all we have left. And they let Donovan Mitchell go off on them for 16 in the third and 16 in the fourth.
They ain't let him. He did it.
Well, again, watch what happens in game 2, because he's going to see a whole different scheme coming at him.
Facts.
He's going to be seeing double because
Facts.
there's going to be 2 Clippers on him.
Facts.
And they'll make Joe Ingles beat him, because I don't think he can beat them.
I do.
Okay. Well,
Oh, stop. Joe Ingles? Nah, Mike Conley, respect. Respect. I can respect Mike Conley, but Joe Ingles, bro.
about that.
Joe
You've
Ingles,
got
bro.
Utah in 5
He's a good player,
games.
but
So you're about to get in some big trouble, because I was mightily encouraged by what I saw last night from a Clippers team that was up 13 and a half, but hung on when I thought it was going to get blown out the door at Utah, and they actually had a last shot to tie it. Well, what's not to love about that?
That was your best chance to steal game 1. Everybody always try. What did Atlanta do? What do you normally try to do, Chris? You normally try to steal the first game on the road. You get that first one out of the way.
Or the second one.
But I love how you try to do that. You keep saying, well, they don't have championship experience. You got Kawhi that's won a championship.
That's
you
it.
got Rondo that's won a championship.
Yep.
You got T. Lue on the bench that's won a
Rondo won 2 of them joints.
They won them together?
Hold on.
No.
But that's what Tom Brady. Tom Brady was the only one, and Gronk, the only one that had championship experience. And you said that bled into the locker room. Okay, let that bleed into the locker room.
Of your sport.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
They don't
That's
have
a fact.
Kawhi's not
That's
the
a
GOAT.
fact.
I never said Kawhi was
No,
GOAT.
you just said Kawhi is on par. You just said yesterday Kawhi is on par with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is the best player on the planet.
Again, Chris said that yesterday, that they're vying for best player on the planet.
Just stop it.
Well, that's what Chris said. Am I right, Chris?
Don't do that, Chris.
It's open. Joel Embiid is up in there.
Yeah.
It's open.
What's open?
Let's see what happens these playoffs. Best player on the planet right now. Best player on the planet is open.
KD getting
It's
that.
open right now.
Nah,
Best
forget
player-
KD. It's Kawhi.
Because we doing this in the playoffs. Because the other guy decided the playoff, they shouldn't get any mention.
All right, let's go back to Kawhi. I'm going to be objective, and I'm going to be very critical of my man Kawhi Leonard, because he took a step back in best player on the planet competition right now,
Well, he ain't in the
because
room anymore.
at the end of the game, if we could see the final sequence, your man Donovan Mitchell, he has a chance to nail the dagger. He takes a 2-point shot, and he was up, and he was way short on this one because Rondo got the rebound, and I'm thinking, I got playoff Rondo. I got a new quarterback. Make a play. Get somebody an open three, and he does a dribble handoff to Kawhi, who dribble handoffs to Paul George, back to Kawhi, and he doesn't want that over Joe Ingles. He doesn't want that over Joe Ingles, and it winds up in the hands of Marcus Morris, who wound up 1 of 9 from 3 for the game. It's almost like the Clippers go as Marcus goes because he made 7 of 9 in Game 7, and he's 1 of 9 from 3 last night, including that disaster at the end of the game.
I don't know.
Kawhi has to take the shot, but I've also said Kawhi's not a great three-point shooter, and this is nothing but a three-point because you're down 3, you got to take one. Kawhi doesn't trust himself from 3 because, as you pointed out earlier, he's a line drive shooter. He doesn't have that range. You put him at 16 or 18 feet, yeah, he's deadly. But he doesn't love the 3 because he
But he could take that, though. I just don't I think it was, I'm going to be honest, it was really good defense from Ingles, though. Really good defense. I can't even, like, dispute that or hate on that. He played good defense, hands up. Nothing he could do, make Kawhi have to shoot over him, you know? So that's good defense. Really smart, good defense. And it kind of, it rattled Kawhi. He didn't want to shoot it.
Elevate and shoot rainbows, he shoots line drives. So I actually wanted Paul George to take the last shot because he suddenly in the fourth quarter had a hot hand. He went from pandemic P to playoff P, and he had it. What are you talking about?
He made 2 shots in the fourth quarter.
Okay, down the stretch, he took the game over. He scored 7 of the last 9 and assisted to Kawhi on the other one. So the last 9 points were all Paul George. He was playoff P. Because he's got range. He has more range than Kawhi. He does shoot rainbow jumpers, and he could have maybe risen right up. He would have had the most open shot on the second dribble handoff.
Well, my bad. He made 3 shots in the fourth quarter. He was 3 of 7, 2 of 5 from 3. He was 5 of 6 from the free throw line.
Yeah, okay. So I loved it. I say you take it.
He needs to be better overall.
Exactly. Chris,
he does.
Correct your look. Mike Conley did get named to.
Mike Conley's not in the game, so we're not talking about him right now. And he's not here Game 2? Is that going to be the excuse? Yeah, I mean, is that going to be the excuse? Because now y'all saying, well, he wasn't here, so, okay, boom. Go, he wasn't here, and they won. Good. This shows how good they are. Now, if they lose, oh, Mike Conley wasn't here. Is that going to be the reason? I don't know, man. Anyway, it's going to be a good series. It's just going to be like with the Mavericks. Y'all going to doubt, then we win, and then we're going to be like, you know, and there's no cockiness, you know. I just, like, the Jazz do enough to get there, but just never get it through, to me. We do it too, but I think this year might be a little different. It's your boy, Key. Yes, indeed. And I'm out, man. Like, share, and subscribe. Let's get it, man. Let's go.